Hello and welcome to NJBIZ Conversations. I'm your host, Jeff Kanige. My guest today is the president and CEO of Synchronoss Technologies, a communication solutions provider based in Bridgewater, Jeff Miller. Jeff, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Great to be here.
Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. Now, we last spoke nearly 4 years ago, and the pandemic was waning, but people were still sort of dealing with the aftermath. You, as I recall, were spending some time with internal finances and operations and things like that. Since then, Synchronoss was named as a Business of the Year finalist by NJBIZ in 2023. Congratulations on that. So I assume everything worked out, but I'd like to hear from you exactly where the company is now. Can you give us an update from 4 years ago about where Synchronoss is and what you're doing these days?
Absolutely. It has been quite a journey.
Okay.
It has been a successful journey that we are still on.
Okay.
What we've
I should just mention that when we spoke last, you had been on the job for about a year, if I recall correctly. So,
Yeah, I had was really just kind of hitting a clear understanding of the strategy that we wanted to follow at that time. And I'm pleased to tell you, thanks to the efforts of our global workforce, we executed the strategy. So we have been prioritizing one aspect of our product portfolio, which is the cloud solution that
right.
Synchronoss offers to companies like Verizon and to AT&T. And by doing so, we really deprioritized any other items in the product line. We prepared a number of those businesses for sale. We divested 3 businesses. We wound down and shut off an IoT business, placing all of our focus on our global cloud customers, significantly investing in our R&D investment in the cloud area, and improve the financial performance of the company dramatically.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a summary. I'm happy to elaborate, but that gives you at least a starting point for where we are and where we're heading.
Okay. Good. Well, we'll talk a little bit about a lot of those things. But I wanted to start with the company, what the company does, so that our viewers understand. I read that you support more than 11 million subscribers around the world. Subscribers, these are basically data subscribers, phone subscribers. You mentioned Verizon and some others. That you process over 50 million photographs daily and manage 230 petabytes of data, which sounds like a lot. And so you have a contact with a lot of folks who may not know you even exist. What do they need to know about what Synchronoss does? What do you do for them? I know you work in security and data protection and things like that, but if you could explain, that'd be great. What that focus that you talked about, what the company is now concentrating on.
Yeah, our cloud solution focus will not typically be known by Synchronoss because we do business on a white label basis under the brands of our customers. So if you are a Verizon subscriber, you may subscribe to and utilize Verizon Cloud. Or if you're an AT&T subscriber in the US, you may take advantage of AT&T Cloud. Both of those solutions are provided by Synchronoss.
Okay.
We create an immersive cloud experience for you as an application that's on your device. And it can be a mobile device, it can be a desktop device, it can be a tablet. We are independent of the device per se.
Okay.
We're also independent of the operating system, which is one of the advantages of Verizon Cloud or AT&T Cloud, because you don't have to just choose an Apple or an Android solution.
Okay.
We back up and store the digital content of those users, whether it's photos, videos, files, music, any number of content classes or categories. And we do so very securely, such that no one has exposure to those items other than those that you intend.
Okay.
And from a consumer perspective, it's one thing to back up and trust that your content will always be there in the cloud, but it's another to make that content interesting enough to want to engage with it and motivate you as a user to then share it with others. And we utilize machine learning and AI to help enable that part of the experience.
Okay. Good. And I want to hear more about that too. Specifically, the announcement that you had, I think it was in January, about the personal cloud and what you were doing. It looked like there was some enhanced protections in there and as you said, using AI. So can you take us through that announcement and how this differs from what you were doing before?
Sure. I'll start with security because one element that is paramount of importance to every subscriber, of course, is the fact that they know that their content is secure.
Right.
And blocked from anyone else's access. So we are constantly enhancing to make sure that we meet the high expectations of the largest global service providers in the world, Verizon and AT&T, on how we handle data security. And therefore, you can trust as a subscriber that your content will never be exposed elsewhere. We go even further by creating a certain private folder capability within your own cloud, so that on a biometric or a password basis, you can secure certain items within your cloud such that they have to be accessed via that biometric or security PIN code.
Okay.
That gives you that extra level of security for things like your mortgage documents, your passport documents, your vaccination documents. Those things are things that you might want to make sure are quarantined, if you will. Now, on what we do to help engage and leverage things like AI, we utilize machine learning to evaluate the photos and videos that you are most likely to be interested to interact with. And we will present those back to you in the form of memories. And that will be in the form of a slideshow of a variety of photos that will be accompanied by music to try to create an experience for you that's, again, a flashback or a memory of some of the greatest moments you might have had this year, when you were on vacation, or any number of triggers that might help us present back to you what you're most likely to be interested in. The idea, of course, with all that is to allow you to have a different type of relationship with a Verizon cloud or an AT&T cloud that's emotional. Just have a voice or a data bill from that provider. You're now trusting your content and you're engaging with your content as part of your relationship with Verizon, AT&T. And we're doing the same thing in Japan, by the way, with SoftBank under the name of Anshin Data Box. So we continue to invest in and enhance the product platform to make sure that it is robust enough to be interesting to our subscribers. We even put AI in your hands. So you may have taken a photo 10 years ago, and yet it's something that you'd like to share with somebody else, but you want to make it even more interesting. Well, you could utilize the filters that we have for generative AI in our Genius tool and turn that into a 3D version of that same image.
Okay.
Or an anime version of that photo, which our Japanese customers have particularly responded well to.
Okay. Well, I think most people probably have encountered some of those things in their daily lives, and that's Synchronoss. That's the when they do that, that's they're engaging with you, with your company.
That's precisely right. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have to, as I said, meet the high expectations of our clients to ensure that they feel confident and comfortable putting their brand name on our product offering. So we take that responsibility very seriously, and it has allowed us to achieve accumulation of over 11 million subscribers who use our platform globally, and that number continues to grow. We just reported this week earlier that on a year-over-year basis, we had a 6% year-over-year growth in subscriber adoption of our platform,
Okay.
which drove revenue growth for the company, significant improvements in profitability, and as a result, we're now where we were not 4 years ago. We're generating positive cash flow as a business. We're a healthier company and a stronger contributor to the New Jersey economy.
Okay. All right. Now, the users who are taking advantage of this or getting the benefit from this, do they need to do anything? I mean, is this something that just as I said, people sort of see these things, but is there a learning curve? Is there something that are people not taking advantage of the kinds of things that you offer because they don't know it's there? How does that work?
So today, there are a number of ways that you as a consumer, a subscriber, can get introduced to our cloud services through Verizon, AT&T, and others. Typically, it will be a part of the digital onboarding or powering up of a new device, or when you upgrade from one device to the next. If you utilize an Android device, and it's an AT&T or Verizon provided device, it is already preloaded with either AT&T Cloud or Verizon Cloud. So the app is already there.
Okay.
And when you power up that device, you will be walked through a curated process that is organized by the operator, the carrier, that will introduce you to the fact that, hey, we can back up your digital content. It's called AT&T Cloud. All you need to do is select the content classes. We're going to give you a 30-day free trial to back up some content and see if you like it. So that's the offer that happens to every Android user who powers up one of the new Samsung S25s that are recently hitting the market.
Okay. All right.
That's the best way for us because we know in that circumstance that will always be presented and it creates an opportunity for us to engage a new subscriber.
Okay.
But we also learn, and consumers learn, about what they hear from the sales representative in the store.
Mhm.
So we work with companies like both AT&T and Verizon, and we educate their sales force. We have in-store merchandising to provide visibility that Verizon Cloud is available to you as a way to securely back up your content. And we're seeing really nice take rates, acceptance of our product offering. And typically, once someone has started to back up their content, it does two things. Number one, it makes them a more loyal subscriber to that carrier because they've now really got a vested interest in content that's being protected by them. And it makes them a more interesting and valuable user because they're paying a premium service for that cloud backup storage service.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have a sense that folks are taking advantage of these kinds of things? I mean, you said that when you power up your device, you'll be walked through. Are people actually doing that? Do they take the time to do it? Because everybody's concerned about data protection. I just wonder if people are doing the things necessary to take full advantage of the kinds of things that you're offering.
Well, they are,
Okay,
certainly. Otherwise, we wouldn't have 11 million subscribers.
that's true.
However,
Good point.
there are well over, based on our latest research, over 20% of subscribers don't do any backup at all.
Okay,
So there is tremendous exposure, and people only really know it when they've lost it. And of course, our
that's right.
statistics also show that well over 70% of people, over 77%, to be a little more precise, would pay money to be able to recover digital content that's been lost. And as a result, we're seeing more people sign on to subscriptions to make sure that they securely back up their digital content. Yet, only about a third, roughly 34% of all subscribers today are utilizing a subscription service to ensure that digital content is backed up.
Okay.
So there are a lot of decisions yet to be made.
Right.
And as such, we think we have a growing opportunity for Synchronoss's business and the market that we play in.
Okay. All right. Well, the public service announcement for everyone watching. So, let me ask you a little bit about what you've been doing recently. You unveiled the new personal cloud at CES in January, if I recall correctly. So I assume you were there. What did you take away? What do you take away from what you heard and saw in Las Vegas?
Well, in the world of consumer electronics, it's all about AI in almost every dimension. And if it's not about AI, someone tries to find a way to connect AI to
Yes,
what's
indeed.
new.
I will too. So don't worry about it. Okay.
That is one of the major themes. I
Okay.
also just returned from Mobile World Congress, which is a global industry conference that takes place in Barcelona every year. That
Okay.
was
Right.
just
Yep. Sure.
last week.
Mhm.
I would say I've seen the progression of talk about AI and its capabilities as a software enabler to now AI agents coming in every form, and humanoid robots to holographic interfaces for AI to simple agents that can prompt you through a customer service experience with much greater precision and much higher success rates. So that is certainly one area that is progressed. And then robotics, I would say, is also one that has been really starting to take off, leveraging that AI technology.
Absolutely. Certainly.
But common in all of this actually is the fact that, content is continuing to be captured, and more people are trying to find ways for that content to be flexible. So fortunately, we also continue to enjoy a tailwind of the confidence that people have to put important information in the cloud.
Right.
And that for us is an area of sort of an endorsement, if you will, that our business model is relevant in the marketplace today. And we're utilizing and even putting tools like AI in the hands of our consumers so that AI starts to comes to life for someone. It's not just a reference point or an acronym.
Right. Okay. Well, you mentioned AIs, and that's where I was going to go next. A perfect segue. Whenever we do a discussion we do webinars and things like that, we always get questions about AI, and it's from business owners and executives wondering what they should do. A lot of them are afraid of it, but a lot of them also think that they have to do something with it because if for no other reason than their competitors are. From your experience and talking to the companies you work with and your end users, what should those business owners know about AI now? Is it something they should be afraid of, or is it something they really need to embrace and get on board with?
I'd certainly encourage any company to embrace and evaluate how you apply AI. And I
Okay.
will say in our case, we have multiple implementations of it. We use it today in our product, as I already described, to try to help put new tools in the hands of our consumers and to use the intelligence of AI to present the most relevant content back to you as a user. But we also use it in the development process, our software development process, to take tasks that otherwise would have been human intensive, simplify those through the use of AI so that our talent can be applied to more interesting and creative new feature functionality extensions. So we get rid of certain functionality and utilize AI for what it's best, repetitive tools and repetitive actions that can be done with very high frequency and can be done with very high reliability. The third area of AI that I think is of equal importance is the application of your business operations. How can you use AI to just allow your team to be more efficient, communicate better? And we're doing that as well at Synchronoss, where we're deploying AI tools to make sure that research that you might have taken weeks or days to do, you can literally do leveraging an AI agent in a matter of seconds. And it's really been transformational already, but we're in our early phase of adoption. So we haven't nailed this yet, but we are certainly on the path in our product, in our coding, and in our use in the business operations.
Okay. Okay. Now, beyond AI and robotics, which you mentioned, is there anything else in your world, in the tech world, that business owners, executives should be concerned with? What's coming next that they should be aware of? Is there any trends that you've seen that folks might not be aware of yet at this point?
Well, I won't say that this one is one that no one's aware of, but it is one that is a constant threat, and that's cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. Okay.
You mentioned it already, but for us, it is a critical factor to the trust and confidence that people place in Synchronoss. There is no violation of that can be accepted, but that bar changes every single day. So it's an area where we're investing because the bad actors continue to invest as well and get more creative, and it is an area that threatens every business. And now in the geopolitical environment that we're in, it threatens every country and it threatens every form of communication. So that is an area that we are staying at the forefront of. We have a comprehensive security staff within the organization that helps run and meet new standards every day. And it's something that I think is got to be embraced by every business throughout New Jersey and throughout the world.
Okay, and it's another area though where when I talk to folks, what I hear is yes, it's important. I know it's important, but they kind of throw up their hands about what to do. Your company seems to be sort of a solution to that because you provide it. Yes,
we do. It's an absolute requirement for us, as I said, and as you can appreciate, we are placing 50 million new photos every day into a vault, into a secure vault that has Verizon's brand on it. Verizon's going to ensure that it meets their exceptionally high standards for something that rides on their network and protects their subscribers. So we have to make sure that we are constantly learning from their expectations and our own discoveries. But it is an area that you can trust that Synchronoss is a leader and an area that we will continue to be a leader over time.
Okay. And finally, before I let you go, I'm interested in how you view the broader economy, both in New Jersey and the United States and around the world. You mentioned geopolitical uncertainty before. What are you looking for the rest of the year? What are you expecting? What do you anticipate? Is there something you're concerned about? Anything how are you approaching the next, say, 12 months?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't echo what I think you're hearing from the business marketplace all around the country right now, which is the uncertainty of some aspects of the economy and global aspects of those, like tariffs, of course, are causing our customers to take pause. There was even a recent announcement by one of our carriers that they too are seeing competitive pressures and uncertainty in the first quarter.
Okay.
So we're going to keep very closely tied to that and make sure that we understand how that situation continues to develop. But the fact that there's not a single path that's been chosen and is being followed, and that we see vacillating decisions on a daily basis right now, creates uncertainty.
Okay.
Uncertainty is not a great thing for the economy. We're seeing that happen in the markets. And that's something we'll have to make sure that we follow the performance and the operating activities of our key clients. Our technology is not as exposed to risks related to tariffs because we're a software provider
Right.
Majority of our business is inside the United States. Our third largest customer is in Japan, a very friendly ally to the United States. But that doesn't keep us immune from the uncertainty of the marketplace.
Okay.
So we are going to continue to monitor this very closely. Now, we set our expectations for this year earlier this week with the financial community, and we feel confident in our ability to execute that because there are scenarios at the low end of our guidance and the scenarios at the high end of our guidance. But we certainly feel successful that we accomplished what we set out to do in 2024, and we hit it right on the nose. And I feel confident that we'll do the same in 2025.
Okay. And just doing business in New Jersey, you still okay, everything's still okay with that, or
Everything's terrific with that. Yes,
okay,
I left the office this morning, in fact, but we have been there throughout the week this week with other colleagues of mine in conversations with our developers and conversations with our investor community. And we find tremendous talent at the forefront of what's happening in the world of software within our office in New Jersey. And as such, we feel very fortunate to have access to the talent of this community and access to the resources, the educational resources that are here in the state and so forth. So New Jersey is a great place for us to do business. We're very pleased that it's been our headquarters since the founding of the company. And now we're almost 25 years into the business's existence.
Okay, that's a great place to leave it. Thank you very much, Jeff Miller, CEO of Synchronoss Technology. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Jeff, thanks for the opportunity. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, and you too. And thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.